Good morning, dear students. We are here today for our first webinar. So I'm Vera Bouyouri. I will share my screen. This way, one moment. So we can see it in full screen. Great. So I'm Vera Bouyouri. I'm one member of the educational team for the learning program number 5. I come from the National Technical University of Athens. So I would like today to start introducing you to the Interreg Euro-MED Academy. So this was a joint initiative of all the Interreg MED thematic communities, as well as Panorama-MED, that's the governance platform. And we all together decided to develop a joint multidisciplinary educational scheme, that is the Interreg Euro-MED Academy. So the aim is to deliver training and increase skills on strategic thematic areas addressed by the Interreg MED program, and also promote the results reached by the program's transnational cooperation projects to a wider audience. Our ultimate ambition is to shape, of course, the next generation of Mediterranean leaders of inclusive and sustainable development. For this reason, there are already 6 learning programs online in the platform of the Interreg Euro-MED Academy. The first one is on promoting innovation for sustainability transitions in the Mediterranean. The second one is on ecosystem-based management and marine spatial planning. The third is on funding opportunities and cooperation mechanisms for a sustainable Mediterranean. The fourth is a sustainable tourism and mobility for the Mediterranean. And the 6th is the achieving green living areas from buildings to cities and territories. So you can also enroll to the other learning programs and study all the results and outcomes of the Interreg MED program. So I skipped the number 5 because it's our learning program, is fostering and managing blue growth potential in the Mediterranean, and you are enrolled on this program. The course was launched on the 16th of May and will be completed on the 11th of July. So we are almost in the middle. You have the time to continue watching all the modules, do the tests, and take the certificate. So go for it. Now, who was, let's say, the partners that were more involved, the actors that were involved in this learning program? First of all, were the 7 partners of the Blue Growth Horizontal project of Interreg MED from 6 countries. So we are partners that were coming from Italy, from France, from Spain, from Montenegro, Greece, and Portugal, but also our projects, the 13 projects of the community, 10 modular ones and 3 strategic ones. And as you can see here, they were on several thematics, taking count of all the blue growth big sectors. So we have projects that were applying methodologies and testing on marine renewable energy, on maritime surveillance, on coastal maritime tourism, on circular economy and blue funding, on blue biotechnology and bioeconomy, and on fishing and aquaculture. What I wanted to say also is that our learning program was structured on 10 modules. So we have worked on 31 pre-recorded video lectures, and we have also worked on extra material to study, coming in general from the European level, let's say, or from the Mediterranean level, but also from our projects. That was also our main focus for this learning program. I must also say that other thematic communities helped us in this program. It is the Sustainable Tourism Community, more on the module on sustainable tourism, the Green Growth Community that has also done a video about circular economy, but we also used several tools and show it to you from the biodiversity protection community. So today is our first online event, that is a webinar, And we will have also at the end, on the 11th of July, one final event. Till now, we have 93 students that are enrolled in our program. And we have 5 or 6, I think, that have already taken their certificate. Now, the modules, the 10 modules, as I said, that we presented in this program was on potential blue economy in the Mediterranean, marine renewable energies, sustainable tourism, greening the ports, fisheries and aquaculture, unlocking the potential of blue bioeconomy through biotechnologies, maritime security and maritime surveillance, maritime spatial planning, and how to reconcile blue economy and marine environmental protection. That was based on case studies and has not a test to do, the final one. So after completing the modules, at least the 75%, the students may choose to perform one of the 2 following tasks in order to get their final certificate of completion. That is, or a final test or an essay. And for this essay today, we will have a presentation at the end of the webinar, just to explain you what we are expecting from you. So today, the core of this webinar will be to present to you 4 tools coming from 4 of our projects, of our communities projects, that is marine renewable energy planning for territorial actors, blue business plan competition, crowdfunding for SMEs, and circularity self-assessment tool. So I will stop sharing, and I will give first the floor to Mr. Riccardo Maria Puffelli, that is a project manager in Indaco 2, a spin-off company born within the University of Siena in 2013, with expertise in environmental accounting and sustainability indicators. So, Riccardo, the floor is yours, and thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vera. Can you hear me? I guess you can also see my presentation.
We can.
Yes, right. I'm the manager of Indaco 2. That is one of the partners of the Blue Deal project that is led by the University of Siena. And I'm currently also a researcher teacher at the University of Florence in the Department of Architecture. I will show you one of the different outcomes we achieved with the Blue Deal project. In general, we say that the Blue Deal project is aimed at engaging stakeholders, including public administrations, businesses, citizens, students, and we do it through a set of different actions. I will tell you something about one of these actions. It is the laboratories that we implemented in 5 different locations in the Mediterranean in order to get public administrations and local stakeholders engaged in a sort of blue energy planning process. That means that we are going to identify the basic, most suitable sites for the installation of blue energy plants in these specific sites. And we do this following a set of stages or of steps, let's say. In general, we do it through a sequence of 6 stages. So this is in general the idea or the framework of the tool that we implemented in the Blue Deal project. The first step is about the identification of the blue energy potential in specific areas. And we do it first through a general overview of the Mediterranean Sea. You can open access this tool, namely Maestrale WebGIS, and it is a sort of online WebGIS where you can check the available marine energy concerning wind speed, wave energy, marine currents, tidal energy in the Mediterranean. So you can have a first idea of the basic potentials you have of course, in this first stage of our Blue Energy Planning Framework, we also implemented more specific analysis that are much more referred to the specific sites and the target regions we were analyzed. Second stage is about the blue energy technologies. So the point here is, what are the available technologies to harvest marine energies? So the most common concerns with offshore wind, typical wind turbines, systems to capture wave energy, and also other devices that can exploit marine currents or thermal energy, like based on seawater-based heat pumps, or to exploit marine biomass through biorefinery or salinity gradient in case combined with the desalinating plants. So these are the different sets of blue energy technologies that we analyzed in the Blue Deal project. Just to give you an example about wind farms in the Mediterranean area, due to the deep bathymetry, we cannot use the typical fixed wind turbines with basements, but we need floating offshore farms. So there are different technologies to exploit wind based on floating platforms, so like this. But also there are technologies to exploit wave energy that are fixed in existing docks or in harbors, or other that are offshore systems like buoys that, based on the oscillation due to wave motions, can be used to generate electricity. And also, as I said, there are other technologies, seawater-based heat pumps or marine biomass, but these are less interesting in our Mediterranean area. The third step, so while the second step is about the existing technologies and what are the basic requirements needed to install them, like the bathymetry, the wind speed, the minimum requirements to let them operate well. The third step is about the mapping. So it is about target regions and the combination of different variables, like the bathymetry and the potentials, like with wind. This is the case of the localization of potential sites for wind farms, for example. So we also identified sites that are, let's say, exclusion zones where we cannot install blue energies, like areas with Posidonia or natural protected areas, or navigation routes, ports, military areas, or system like that. So if we make a combination of all this information, we can identify the exclusion zones in the area where we cannot install blue energy plants. And at the end, we have a few sites that are suitable for the installation. In this case, especially based on a debate with local stakeholders, we identified one area. This is the case of the island of Cyprus, one area where we can install an offshore wind farm. The fourth point is a combination of all this information to identify these pilot sites. And we made it for the different technologies. I showed you wind farms, but we can make the same process for wave energy plants, for marine currents, for marine biomass that is usually combined or combined with aquacultural systems, for salinity gradients that are usually combined with the salinating plants. So this is the basic process that we make to identify potential sites for the installation of blue energy plants. The fifth step is about assessments. So based on this availability of pilot sites, how much energy can we produce by marine energy? And if we are in the case of Cyprus, you see here that there is an electricity demand of Cyprus more than 5,000 gigawatt-hour per year. We know that most of this electricity is currently produced 90% by fossil fuels. So this electricity system in Cyprus has a high impact. So what you see in the slide, I don't know if you can see that the green square there, that is the surface of forest that would be needed to absorb the impact of this energy system to make it sustainable or carbon neutral. So you see that the impact is very high. To have this electricity system sustainable, we should cover most of the islands with a forest. So this is not possible, of course. So the basic idea is that if we add all these blue energy devices, blue energy plants, we can produce 480 gigawatt-hour of electricity by wind farms, 10 gigawatt-hour of electricity by wave energy sources, and at the end, we can decrease this impact, this carbon footprint of the energy system by 10%. So the rate, the contribute of blue energy in the island of Cyprus would be quite interesting. And of course, combined with other renewables, there is the opportunity to achieve a condition of carbon neutrality in Cyprus. Of course, most of this analysis is based on additional analysis like life cycle assessment of devices that we made. The result is just that if we currently use electricity in Cyprus, the impact is more than 600 grams of equivalent carbon dioxide emitted in the atmosphere per kilowatt hour of electricity. If we use a wind farm, this is around 50 grams, so much, much, much less. It's not zero, the impact of renewable energies, but it's much, much less than fossil fuels, for example. The last point, sixth point, is about visualization. We made this plan. We can hypothesize to install these blue energy plants. We should visualize them. We do it through digital system or also virtual reality in order to let citizens understand in advance how it looks like and to understand if they like it or to prepare them in order to avoid any problem of social acceptance that usually with renewable energy is one of the most important. So you see here how these energies, wind farms or buoys can look like in the area of Cyprus. At the end, we have a sort of blue energy plan that is not a definite plan, but is matter for a conversation, matter for a discussion with local stakeholders. So based on this information saying, well, in Cyprus, we can implement all these energy plans. At the end, we can say, let's discuss about that with local stakeholders, public authorities, businesses, in order to understand what can we do, what is the opinion of citizens, how can we manage this process, blue energy planning process, in order to let it be better than before, and we kick off a sort of energy transition based on marine energies in the island. So at the end, there is a debate about all the stakeholders, and the final result of the Blue Deal project is to make a sort of alliance, an agreement with public authorities, businesses, citizens, in order to identify the best solutions and start implementing blue energy plants in Cyprus. All the information, very detailed and specific information about this tool, this blue energy planning framework, will be published in a journal that is an open access journal, Frontiers in Energy Research, so you can have even more details about the procedure we followed. That's it. Let's make a blue deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you so much. It was a very good presentation. And now I will pass to the second tool of today, and to Ms. Hrisa Evstratiu, that is an environmental analyst at the Institute of Oceanography of the Hellenic Center for Marine Research. And she will speak for the Blue Business Plan competition. So Hrisa, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. Good morning to all of you. I am always happy to engage with young professionals in the field of blue economy. And I'm going to start the presentation. I'm Hrisa Evstratiu. I work at the Hellenic Center for Marine Research at the Institute of Oceanography. My main research focus is on marine renewable energies and marine biotechnology. This is why I was so involved with the Project Mistral. And today I'm going to say a few words about the business plan competition, which is a conceptual framework that can really help the Mediterranean regions to improve their territorial development in the sector of blue economy. And I'm going to show you a few things about the framework and the tool that gathered all the experiences from the participated countries. And I'm going to show you also an example here in Greece, because we have been collaborated also in that we organized a blue business plan competition in Greece. So first of all, I would like to say a few things about Mistral so you can get into the details. Project Mistral is the Mediterranean innovation strategy for transnational activity of clusters and networks of the blue growth. The Mistral team was a really multi-sectoral team, and following the clustering approach, Mistral gathered ministries, regions, research institutes, and business promotion organizations in order to investigate and increase knowledge in the blue economy sector of Mediterranean. The aim of Mistral was to strengthen a transnational partnership in order to make marine knowledge and sustainable innovation the key drivers for the blue economy. The main target was to support Mediterranean clusters and operators in order to transfer the knowledge to businesses and young entrepreneurs. Another output of Mistral was to design and implement sustainable development proposals and recommendations, which we want to be harmonized with the regional smart specialization strategies. The main objective was to support the regional collaboration in the disciplinary studies and smart specialization strategies to promote research, innovation, and entrepreneurship in order to move to the transition to a sustainable blue economy. How we did that? First of all, we investigated the economic characteristics and the technical characteristics of the Mediterranean regions, and we organized expert workshops to identify and analyze best practices and in the innovation potential, and which are the gaps and opportunities in 5 core sectors of blue economy, meaning the traditional sectors such as fisheries, aquaculture, coastal and maritime tourism, maritime surveillance, and also the 2 emerging sectors, which is marine renewable energy and blue biotechnology. A huge tool of this process was to organize the entrepreneurial discovery process, acceleration programs, and matchmaking events in order to foster research and innovation potential, and to help the decision makers to better design future actions in their plans. We also organized dialogue forums in collaboration with policymakers and funding mechanisms to support the design of these targeted plans, and also to disseminate all the best practices and the young entrepreneurs that we have identified before. Then we moved to a targeted public consultation in collaboration, for example, in Greece with the Blue Growth community. And the overall objective was to support clusters and operators in the field of blue economy. The two main outputs of all these processes was the Mistral Blue Growth book, which is a report that aims to assess the challenges and opportunities within the blue economy sector, looking at innovation-driven actions in order to deliver the highest impact and mobilize opportunities for stakeholders. The report not only looks at the well-established sectors in recent years, as I mentioned before, but also the emerging sectors that really will give us a lot of solutions to move on. The second output was some guidelines and toolkits that you can download from Mistral site. I will forward the links after a while. And this was guidelines and toolkits about the business plan competitions and matchmaking events. Actually, this toolkit for the Blue Business Plan competition provides a detailed information on how to launch and manage a business plan competition for the blue economy sector. And it is a competition among all the ideas that we gathered through Mistral, startups and academic spin-offs. And we have the objective to empower entrepreneurial capacity and reinforce innovation and business creation. This is what we try to do in all the participating regions. And we are really happy that we saw that we had some beneficiaries and we saw that we saw them to move forward their business idea. Within Mistral, the pilot actions was 9 business plan competitions. Some of them were at national level, some of them at regional level. And the best ideas were presented in one transnational event that hosted by Polmer in France. Also, there are some matchmaking events that they were organized, and we tried to involve all the beneficiaries from the Blue Business Plan competition. And in my opinion, these toolkits for Blue Business Plan competition and matchmaking events should be in line, not separate. The work package leader was Arthur from Italy. And here is the framework that the first initial framework that they shared with us in order to run in our own way our business plan competitions. We had 3 phases in general. The first phase was to analyze the characteristics of each region and identify which are the gaps and opportunities that we need to fulfill through this business plan competition. And we had this investigation before through the activities that were organized to complete the Blue Growth book. We gathered a lot of experts and business chambers or other business organisms in order to define the evaluation criteria. We know about the technical staff as a research institute, but some of the details that you need to run a business was not in our field, so we wanted to collaborate with experts. We all launched open calls for identifying innovative ideas, some of them at regional or national level, and we selected beneficiaries according to the viability of their proposal. The second phase was included the training and workshops following a hands-on experience approach to kickstart projects and business ideas. That was nice because compared to hackathons, we were all together close to the beneficiaries, and we worked in workshops in real problems for 1 or 2 months, or some of the participating countries, they had a larger program, and it lasted about 3 months, for example. The second phase also includes individual mentorship and consultancy in order to address business-related problems. And in the end of this phase, we wanted to see that the beneficiaries have defined their business model canvas. The third phase was focused in improving the pitching and presentation skills, where again we collaborated with experts and influencers in order to show some tips so our beneficiaries can inspire in their presentations. At the end, each country or each region had to select 2 beneficiaries that they would participate to the international and final event of Mistral in France, and you can see the statistics in the Mistral website, and you can see all the participants and also the winners of the final competition. Here are some basic statistics about the proposals, not the proposals that they were submitted, but the beneficiaries that we said that they have a valuable proposal to move on to the next phase. And here you can see in each sector, in each country, or in each region, where the thematic, in which thematic they focus really. As we saw, the most powerful competitions were from Arter and Adral from Portugal, because they were already experienced in this field, and they gathered more propositions, and they had all the capacity to train more beneficiaries. And now I will show you the case study of Greece, what we did in Greece. We ran the Blue Prototype Initiative, which was a national business plan competition and acceleration scheme that has been launched as a digital platform for the national business plan competition. A network of experts in the domain of the blue economy was built to discover innovative entrepreneurs in most coastal regions of Greece, as you can see, and organize trainings, tutorships, and consultancies in order to transform their innovative business ideas into sustainable businesses. Completing the national business plan competition, 2 of the most integrated business plans have been selected to participate to the final event. And they were focused mostly, even if we were expecting to have more proposal about marine bioresources and marine renewable energies, the proposals that were more ready to the market were referred to coastal and maritime tourism and fisheries. And this acceleration seems lasted for 9 months, from September 2019 to May 2020. According to the common methodology that are there shared with us. And we had training sessions and webinars that were focused in preparing business strategy, a model, and the value proposition plan. They were also focused on service design, that we saw that there was a gap from the beneficiaries to follow it. And then we had the pitching and presentation skills training. We saw some mentors which were also young entrepreneurs, but also experienced in the field, and they analyzed in individual mentorship with the beneficiaries, market opportunities, competitive advantages, business management, funding opportunities, and execution plans. Interest parties, individuals or team, were up to 5 members and had 1.5 months following an open call to prepare and submit their ideas. We have received 15 applications, and from 7 regions of Greece, of which 14 were collected as eligible, because the one was not relevant at all with the blue economy sector. In the first step, 8 successful applicants selected after evaluation from the experts and the advisory committee. and they enter as beneficiaries into the business plan competition and acceleration scheme. For that, it was really important, the collaborations that we initiated, and this is really important to put them in process. And we collaborated with the Technical Chamber of Greece to attract innovative and meaningful ideas and organize a training program, because in the first analysis we saw that there are a lot of gaps in technical details, and we needed to fill this gap. We had a close collaboration with the Hellenic Industrial Property Organization in order to evaluate the feasibility of the proposals. We collaborated with external business experts to influence beneficiaries according to their needs. We collaborated also with technical experts to establish and disseminate best practices, because we had some proposals also that they were already in the market there, but they needed to be disseminated widely. So we collaborate with researchers and technical experts in this field in order to publish things to justify these practices, so they can use it and move on with their best practice. Also, we have collaborated with the region of Attica to capitalize on these results and design a meaningful action plan for the blue economy to be adapted in smart specialization strategies. You can see the basic characteristics. And now I want to mention the most important thing, why it is important to adapt this kind of tool in the Mediterranean area. Blue business plan competitions are already used in United States, for example, in order to foster research and innovation, but we are not so familiar because it is something new for us, and we want to keep using it. It is important because it addresses the economic realities and challenges of the Mediterranean industries, because Mediterranean is based in small and medium scale enterprises, which are highly dispersed in coastal and decentralized coastal areas or insular communities. So they are not near to the capital centers and not close to excellent centers in order to be inspired and build a useful business strategy. But also there are some brilliant ideas that probably we will never learn because they are not in the center and we will never hear about them. We saw that it creates an environment which entrepreneurs are inspired to generate and accelerate more their innovative ideas. Because we work all together, we saw that we organized some small matchmaking events, and we saw that there are cross-cutting issues, and they were interested to find the synergies and create common projects. It helps also the entrepreneurs to collaborate with experts in order to create a robust structure for a new business, reducing the risks and costs. Probably if they want to build their business strategy alone, they will need the money for a business consultant, for a lawyer, for an accountant, that our small and medium enterprises or entrepreneurs are not ready to cover this cost in the beginning, and we see a lot of ideas not to be valuable after a while. It establishes a collaboration platform also where we can identify synergies, but encourages also investors that many times are really hard to reach to them. But also, it helps us to promote the micro-investing for innovative and sustainable ideas. It helps also to define integrated strategies and meaningful policy actions according to the heterogeneous nature of the Euro-Mediterranean blue enterprises. And it provides useful data to design, monitor, and evaluate regional development strategies and operational programs. So we will have a better planning in the future, because sometimes we don't know what is exactly the potential that we have in blue economy. And sometimes we don't plan a budget that covers us after a few years, or we see some money they are underspending. A blue business plan competition, especially if it goes this way from national or regional level to an international level, it can help to circulate best practices and to organize better our future strategies. Here are the links you can where you can download all the toolkits and the guidelines prepared by Arthur that has all the experience from all partners. And thank you. That is for me.
Thank you so much, Wilson. Now it's better. Sorry for that. We are in the same room. So I will pass quickly to the next, to the next speaker, that is Luis Miranda Molas, Project Manager at the Projects and International Cooperation Area Department in the Association of the Mediterranean Chambers of Commerce and Industry. And he will speak us about the crowdfunding training tool. So Luis, I will do the sharing of the screen and you can start present us this tool. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure being here with you. Okay. I'm just going quickly because I think we're short of time. Okay. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Today we'll speak on behalf of Blue Crowdfunding. We've been working very close during the last years, I would say, with the Blue Crowdfunding project. And because we've been working together, it's a pleasure for me talking today about us. You see in the screen the different sectors that normally in the Blue Growth Community Project we handle: fishing, agriculture, blue biotechnology, coastal maritime tourism, maritime surveillance, marine renewable energy, and in the middle, circular economy and blue funding. This is one of the tools of circular economy and blue funding. And for us, it's very important because it's a tool that offers great possibilities for blue economy, and alternative funding is something necessary for future of blue economy. We made a very easy presentation, which is divided in for whom, what's about, and what's useful for. So every student can track it. And with 3 questions, you can get the most important knowledge and the most important content of this tool. We believe that this tool, Blue Crowdfunding, could be very useful for business support organizations, for instance, chambers of commerce, small medium enterprises, and then public local authorities, municipalities, or regions. What's about? This training tool consists of practically a presentation of around 200 slides with explanations that covers different aspects of crowdfunding, types of crowdfunding, civics crowdfunding, different possibilities, actors, the evolution, the benefits, and it can be used for any kind of crowdfunding, not just for the blue economy. It could be private or civic, and in several sectors, dealing with environmental, agriculture, energy, culture, etc. And it's free, and it's available, and it's online. So this is something great. What's useful for? We believe that including crowdfunding within the mainstream of a business is very important, because normally you're accustomed to go to the bank to look for a loan, or you wait for the public sector to offer you a tender or to offer you some money or a project where you can go there and look for extra money. Here, the point is how you can get alternative funding for your business, or how you can get alternative funding for your project. Crowdfunding, we believe it's a real possibility. It's an alternative funding source, can replace bank loans. It can act as seed money. I mean, if you need you need money to begin with your business, your idea, and you need some small amount of money to begin with your business, crowdfunding can be an opportunity. And at the same time, it's very valuable because it tests what you want to do. Imagine that you have an idea, you want to go to the market, but you don't know if this will finally work or not. If you ask for money through a platform to the people, to the crowd. If they support your idea and they fund your idea, you are getting important feedback that this is something that it's valuable, it's worth it, and that people believe in you. So it's very important when you go into a platform for crowdfunding and you present your idea to have a good idea, design it very well, and have, of course, marketing, and try to sell something that could be attractive for people. And if people answer, the crowd funds you, this means that you have potential. So as I said before, it's very important for us, and I'm going to repeat it, because it's an alternative funding source. It can replace bank loans, it can act as seed money, and at the same time, it has the importance of being a test when you want to sell an idea to the market, because you get feedback. That's very important. Of course, crowdfunding can be also used for public interest or as addition to public funding. Blue economy, we believe, could be based in use in future on crowdfunding, because it's a new economy, it needs extra funding, we need extra funding resources. And if we support the increase of this knowledge, if we improve crowdfunding, we could get extra funding for the economy. And of course, it's very important to increase the competences of the public and the private sector on crowdfunding. I know it's not, we are not very used to run crowdfunding campaigns, at least in Europe. Maybe in the States or in the UK, they are more used to this kind of culture. I could say somehow in Northern Europe, they are more used than in the Mediterranean countries to crowdfunding campaigns. But I think it gives real possibilities, and it gives real opportunities. And as we could see later on, because I checked a couple of examples, I'm going to pass a very short video, then we can see that even if for a small amount of money, we can get extra money, and you can get your seed money to begin your business, to run your idea. And that's important when you don't have means. We have to realize that the small, medium enterprises don't have a lot of resources. They need, of course, support. They need some kind of consulting support. Normally, you don't have extra money for a big marketing campaign. So you need some kind of feedback, you need support. And these kind of platforms where you can go and start with your crowdfunding campaign could be very worth it. So the idea is use crowdfunding to produce blue economy related products, at the same time provide blue economy related services and run blue economy related projects. Okay, and I'm going to give you some examples. I mean, I went to the Blue Crowding funding project. If you go there in the main page, you will find this link. In this link, the first one, Blue Crowdfunding Interreg Euro-MED EU, you will find the best examples. There are several. I took just a couple because not all links work when you want to open an internet. But I took two very, I think, nice examples. They are in the fashion design, but they are related with social corporate ideas or with social responsibility ideas. One of these is the fashion and design with plastic waste found on the sea. We will see right now. And the second, it's a campaign. It's about fashion design, but it's also an awareness campaign about the refugee crisis. You remember the refugee crisis and kids crossing the Mediterranean that astonish many Europeans, especially in summertime. Okay, so you could find this in the crowdfunding platform Godeo. They are not very long, it's a couple of minutes, and I will try just to run the first of one. And you see how from plastic waste found in the sea, they created swimming trunks. Okay, so I'm going to put the first one just to check that this works. The minimum amount requested was 1,850 euros. The optimum is 2,650. It's still running. And if you go to the second one, you already have minimum 5,000, optimum 11,000, and they already got 9,000. So they are up the minimum. So this is great. Okay. And this does the answer of the crowd. So I'm going to the first one. I put you the video. If it works, yeah, I think so.
We don't see it.
No? Okay, we don't see it?
No.
Okay, just, okay. I apologize, they're telling me that we are not seeing the video. We will try. Anyway, I just wanted to explain you that these campaigns work. As you see, at least in this screenshot, Finnish funded 2,034 euros. The optimum was 2,650 euros, and they were over the minimum. And with that, this is a real example that it works. I mean, they were looking for seed capital for beginning this idea. They got this money and they made this campaign. And through this campaign and marketing, they offered something to the people that supported them. It's fashion design, but we can find examples if you go to the main page of Blue Crowdfunding about sailors, about rescue centers in Greece for animals. Okay, and okay, we will give later the link to the chat so you could see it, okay? And I think that's everything. I think you'll like it. If you have questions, with pleasure.
Okay, and now we will go to the fourth speaker, that is Monica Rogerio, and she's communication and project manager at Eco, which provides higher expertise and consultancy in the fields of energy efficiency, sustainable mobility, and renewable sources. Monica will present us the self-assessment tool. So, Monica, the floor is yours.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Luis, do you mind if I share my screen? Because
yes, you can.
Thank you. Okay. Please confirm to me that you are seeing my screen and it's in full screen, not the slides, right? Yes, okay. Thank you, Vera.
Yes, it is, Monica.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So as Vera was saying, I'm from Eco. Eco is one of the partners of the Blue Phasma project, and the Blue Phasma project, it's about implementing the circular economy for the fishing and aquaculture sector. So let me just put my PowerPoint in. Its main objective is to empower SMEs, maritime clusters and networks, or to empower the sector to implement circular economy in the blue sector. The project has already started in 2019 and it's already getting to its end. Along the project, we have developed different tools. I'm not going deep into the other tools, but it was just for you to know that we have available several tools. They are available in this platform. I can share the link after, and the tool is hosted in our main, in our coordinators platform. And the different tools are the circular self-assessment tool that I will be explaining next. And then we have also the e-network, the circular economy knowledge base, the capacity building instrument, and another one that is based on the economy, on the data for circular economy. I invite you all to register and get to know all the tools, because the tools are this one that I'm going to talk about today. It's for SMEs, but the others are for different stakeholders. So I invite you all to go to the platform and know better all the tools. So about the tool that I will bring here today, the circular self-assessment tool. It was designed to map the circularity readiness level of SMEs in fishing and aquaculture, as well as their willingness to invest in circular economy. This tool came from a previous project that was developed also under an Interreg program, in this case, the South Baltic. The project was Tirtoino. It's still operational, so if you have any curiosity, you can also find the tool online. From that previous idea, we got the main structure, and we adapted to the fisheries and the aquaculture sector. Well, in my opinion, I think in the partner's opinion, this tool is a great success, and it's a great way to get a fast knowledge of the companies state of art in terms of readiness and willingness on circular economy. And you'll see why I'm saying this. The main objective of the tool was to fill the lack of data about SMEs in this topic, the blue circular economy, but also to assist them in being more innovative and getting some orientation how to improve their circular economy level. So when they fill the questionnaire, they will be redirected to a report, like a diploma, where they will have some advices to improve their circular economy readiness. This tool is a unified Mediterranean measure. It means that we, all the partners, use the same tool, and in this way we could compare the readiness and the willingness along the different countries. The registration is mandatory, but it's free and it's available in different languages. It's available in the languages of all the partners plus English. This means that it's in Greek, in Portuguese, Spanish, Croatian, French, Montenegrin, Italian, Maltese, and Arabic. This tool is special tailored for SMEs, as I was saying, but also business clusters or bigger enterprises can fill the questionnaire and still get results on their readiness, circular economy readiness. The tool is separated in different sections. These sections are the same for everyone, but then the questionnaire is the questions will not be the same for everyone. This means that if you are from aquaculture, the questions will be different from fisheries, or if you have, for instance, facilities or not, or depending of your how you work with your suppliers, or if you depending on the sector and how your business is, the questions will be also different. The different sections are, as you can see, like the company's business profile, the building's facilities. It has also a general approach on circular economy and environment, eco-design, equipment, energy efficiency, the choice of suppliers, distribution channels, waste recovering and repurposing, and the willingness towards the circular economy. So depending on the user's answers, the tool calculates two indicators. The first one will be the Circular Economy Readiness Index, and this has a scale from 1 to 4, and depending on the value, the user is awarded with a medal. So if you are in linear economy, you will be in the first step. But for instance, if you are near 4, if the results of the questionnaire will be next to 4, you will have the gold medal. That means that you are already in the circular economy model. At the end, I will show you how the results from this tool, and you will see where the Mediterranean countries are in this ladder. Also, the tool calculates the willingness to invest, and this is important because with this we can see how much we can invest on this, how much people are interested in move to the circular economy, and if we have space to work with them or not. So, as I was saying, these two indicators then give some recommendations for the SMEs to move forward the circular economy, and the questions are not the same for all users. And depending on their answers and their user profile, they will get a different report and with different recommendations in the end. And this is the result from the work that we have done. So we could, with the questionnaires that we have developed 114 questionnaires for different SMEs. And this is the results. So we can see that companies are not already in linear economy. They are a little bit up, but still there's a lot of work that has to be done. The position is in the green economy and eco thinking, so that means there's still a lot of work that it can be done. So the generalized level of circular economy, it's quite low. But however, the stakeholders are receptive and ready to invest. So this means that we can support them, and there's a space to work on them in shifting to this circular economy approach, because their willingness, it's quite up. It's on the 3.5, so there's space to work on them, and that's good news for the sector. And this is it. It was just a brief presentation of the tool, but if you have any questions or any doubts, I'm available to answer you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you. And now I will pass the floor to Lucia Prenza, who will present you the essay of this learning program. So, Lucia, the floor is yours.
If you select the final assignment section in the course number 5, you will see that you have two options in order to complete the learning program and to receive the final certificate. The first one, sorry, I can move the slides. Okay. The first one is a final test, a multiple choice question test, while the second is this essay we're talking about. You have to select to complete at least one. So if you select to do the essay, I would like to give some more details on how you will proceed with this task. The essay is titled Your Solution to a Territorial Need. And the concept is to identify a territorial need, a challenge in your areas or in another area you are familiar with, to select one tool or more, or a result developed within the Blue Growth Community projects. And then you have to visualize how this could be implemented and the potential impact for its implementation. So let me give you the structure of the document. It shall be a document about 2 or 3 pages long and will be submitted in a PDF or Word file through the platform. And it is advised to include the following section. At first, we have the context and description of the territory, where you have to describe briefly which is the area, which is the socioeconomic context, and how it's connected with blue economy. For example, an area could be very touristic, or could be an island with high energy needs, could be an area with many fisheries. So based on this analysis, you will have to specify a challenge that is urgent to be addressed. And then you will have to select the tool or the tools or the results that could solve this problem, according to your opinion. And finally, you have to build on that and describe how you imagine the potential implementation. In order to help you with this last part, which is the main part of the essay, we have developed some indicative questions that have to be answered. For example, are there any adaptations necessary to apply this tool? Because one tool, it could be applied in the community with a sector, but it could be also be applied in another sector with adaptations and modifications. Do you think that we can enrich it with other elements to be applied? Then you have to describe which actors can undertake this adoption and adaptation and final implementation. It could be a public body and a company, who you imagine that it could be. And additionally, who will be the beneficiary of the use of the tool, because this may be different from the actor that implements it. For example, a municipality may adopt a tool, but the beneficiaries could be the whole community or its local SMEs. And then you have to describe what steps are needed to implement it. If there are already methodologies or practices in place that are similar to this tool, and how this could be combined and integrated to existing practices. A very important issue is, of course, how you visualize the funding for the implementation of the tool. And finally, what are the long-term impacts from its implementation? What's the vision for the future? You heard just 4 of the tools today. We have selected 16 tools that we think they are the most relevant and promising. And in order to find information on the tools, the one of you that have already accessed the modules, you will see that under each module in the lessons menu, there is the last section that is on Interreg MED experience. By selecting this section, this page appears where you have the opportunity to see links related to the topic of the module. And by clicking these links, you can see everything on the tool, on the result, and get ideas on how to build the essay. And by selecting the submit button in the section of the essay, this page appears and you can upload your file. The submission deadline is the 11th of July. This day, we're also having a final event for our learning program, Fostering and Managing Blue Growth in the Mediterranean. And we plan also to make a selection of the essays and give you the floor and present some of them in this final event. So if someone is interested to present his or her essay, we will need to receive it earlier than the 11th of July. And to close, just to say that there is still time if a student hasn't begun yet with the module. We have also almost 1 month. It's enough time to complete all the modules, all the activities, and to receive the certificate of completion. And I would like to thank you very much for enrolling to this learning program. That's it from my side. I'll give the floor also to my colleague if she wants to say some closing words.
Yes, thank you so much for being here with us. I saw that in the chat there is a link that it doesn't work, but we have put all the links and all instructions and presentations of all the community's tools in the Interreg MED experience. In every module, you can find them there. So I believe you will have no problem to check all these tools, these 4, but even more of them. So thank you for being here. This webinar was recorded, and we will also give the link through the platform for all students to watch it. So thank you again to the speakers for being here with us today, and wish you a very nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.